Super League! Super League! Super League! Nothing's gonna stop the Super League! Yeah! Wait, what? Whoa, welcome back to oddmansports. I'm your host, Brandon Perna. I'm also the host of That's Good Sports here on YouTube and That's Good Broncos on YouTube, where I'll soon be releasing a movie about a diehard Broncos fan and the man he desperately wants under center. Here's a sneak peek at the movie poster. Ha! I just can't quit you, Minshew. In this week's episode, I'll try to answer 3 age-old questions. Who should the 49ers pick? Which Ball brother is the worst at math? And why did I just spend $50 to watch Jake Paul knock out a teacher? That's actually Chris Paul. That's Chris Paul's fake brother, Cliff Paul. That's Cliff Paul wearing a Jake Paul mask. There, nailed it. Dinks and Dunks. Well, the NFL draft is fast approaching with the Jags expected to select a Head and Shoulders model first, followed by the Jets taking a teenage TikTok influencer. And the question on everybody's mind is, which quarterback will the 49ers select third? Well, first, Adam Schefter reported the pick would be Mac Jones. Then he walked it back. Then it was reported that throwing coach John Beck, who played quarterback in Washington a decade ago for the then offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, was coaching Trey Lance at Shanahan's request, even though he, Lance, normally works with Quincy Avery, which would make you think Trey Lance is the pick, except Shanahan also had Justin Fields, who has also worked with Avery in the past, throwing with Beck as well. I realize that's a little bit confusing. In fact, here's a photo my wife took of me in my basement trying to sort this all out as our baby was crying upstairs. Now, with too much time to overanalyze all of this, the third pick is starting to feel like an NFL version of The Bachelorette. And which guy would I give a rose to if I was Kyle? Probably Trey Lance or Justin Fields. And not because I think they're going to be better than McCorkle Jones, but because there's less of a chance the Niners will have to dump them in a month after photos emerge of them at an antebellum party. Speaking of roses, Derrick Rose has quietly been guiding the Knicks to their first playoff appearance since 2013, prompting Draymond Green to tweet this: D-Rose, still really fucking good. And while Rose has indeed been really fucking good for the Knicks, he has been assisted at times by a defense that has been really fucking bad. Like this past Sunday in a game against the Pelicans. Let me set the scene for you. The Knicks have the ball, down 3 with 7 seconds left. And I know I don't need to tell you this, but only a 3 can tie the game. Here's what happened.
Rose to trigger in, Knicks down 3, 7.8 to go. Rose has to get it in, finds Knox. Back to Rose. Rose kicks to the corner. Bullock connects!
Eric Rose, let him go. You don't have to come off that corner. Why Lonzo cheats in? Let him go. 2 doesn't beat you.
This isn't even the worst mathematical calculation we've seen by a Ball brother. After all, Lonzo's older brother, LiAngelo, once forfeited a $240,000 UCLA scholarship after he was caught stealing $15 sunglasses from a local boutique before walking into an H&M and snagging beaded bracelets retailing for $6. I do feel bad piling on the Ball brothers, but as someone with siblings, I know the worst thing you can do is exclude one of them. So, just for LaMelo's benefit, here's a clip of his glorious attempt at the game, Would You Rather.
Would you rather never be able to wear pants or never be able to wear shorts?
Is it the same thing?
LaMelo, a lightning bug and a firefly are the same thing. Scallions and green onions, the same thing. Chris and Liam Hemsworth, same damn thing. Shorts and pants are most definitely not the same thing. Though to be fair, Adam Sandler and TJ Ford also both answered this question the same way. Money Talks, a segment about money. This week, it was announced that Coinbase, a budding crypto company that Kevin Durant invested in when it was valued at $1.6 billion, went public at a $100 billion valuation, an increase of 61x since he invested. And yet, KD missed the chance to get in on the ground floor of my now defunct startup, CoinPurse, a dick pic subscription service, but for scrotums. According to reports, Durant's investment portfolio also includes companies like Postmates, Acorns, JetSmarter, and many more in an attempt, as he put it, to create generational wealth. Newsflash for you, KD. You already have generational wealth. At the end of your current deal, you will have made over $400 million, Kevin. Not to mention an estimated $50 million a year in endorsements. You and your non-existent children and their non-existent children have infinite money. The only way you could spend all of this money is by going on TV and spouting lies about Dominion voting machines. Or even worse, fines for DMing Michael Rappaport. It all makes your speculative investments in startups like Yoshi, Skydio, Pyology, and Hugging Face extremely and unnecessarily risky. Unless, of course, KD, you happen to possess a deep and profound understanding of emerging tech. Here's KD in 2018 about his passion for technology.
Did you think, like 5 years ago, 3 years ago, you were ever going to care about technology?
No.
When did that flip?
I always cared to a certain degree. I always was on my phone, always the Xbox.
Thinking you're an investment guru because you played Xbox is like thinking you're a master chef because you once watched Ratatouille. Just because you played in Oracle Arena does not make you the Oracle of Omaha. This history of the NBA is littered with a million millionaires who went broke because of bad investments. Guys who invested in things they knew next to nothing about simply because they could. Now, I'm no financial advisor, but I do have one investment tip, and it's the only one you will need. You already won the game, KD. Now, stop playing or invest in something a little safer, like the odds that your Frankenstein team of veterans hands out some more generational wealth to another 2015 All-Star. Odd Man Out. April. Well, it's been a banner month for ESPN talent publicly attacking fellow ESPN coworkers. First, Stephen A. Smith went after the ESPNers who ranked the best 25 NBA players under 25.
What the hell? I mean, ESPN needs to drug test anybody that has something to do with this list. Makes no sense.
Then, Kirk Herbstreit ripped Dan Orlovsky for his Justin Fields take.
So Pat on yesterday's show asked me, like, hey, sounds like Justin Fields is dropping. Why do you think that's the case? And I said, I don't know.
I don't know, but by far the most entertaining recent ESPN on ESPN crime occurred when NBA writer Tim Bontemps went on Brian Windhorst's Hoops Collective podcast this week to discuss the MVP race.
The race was tied 2 months ago between these three guys.
LeBron had a significant advantage.
No, he didn't. He had these small.
It's one thing to say, well, a guy misses 7 weeks because of an injury. Yes, that's.
You're gonna listen.
I don't give a flying bleep about the total points.
Okay. I mean, you can make up the damn rules to the poll if you want. You want to do the poll in the future?
No, I don't. I'm glad that you do. I'm glad that you do.
Okay, well then maybe you should actually listen to people, because you are being a jackass.
I personally think Jokic is deserving of this year's MVP, but I'm not going to lose too much sleep if Embiid wins, because there's only one MVP race in sports worth caring about. And that was for the 1982 NFL MVP. In a year in which Joe Montana, Lawrence Taylor, Walter Payton, Marcus Allen, and Tony Dorsett were all active, that year's Most Valuable Player award went to Washington place kicker Mark Mosley. That's a real thing that actually happened. He didn't even kick the ball soccer style. I'm shocked he even wore cleats. And while people were quick to poke fun at Windhorst for getting his panties in such a bunch over something so insignificant, let me make the counter argument. It's all insignificant. None of it matters. But the games, the podcasts, the internet shows that make sports feel meaningful, it's all fun nonsense that makes our lives more entertaining and enjoyable. So thank God. Thank the Lord Almighty for the nitwits like Windy Whores and Boner Timps who have convinced themselves that stuff like this actually matters. Because the alternative is paying attention to real stuff in the real world, and that sounds truly miserable. But more importantly, Jokic's natural state of being is chubby. Chubby. So when they talk about his weight loss, that is notable because guys like LeBron James were born ripped. Jokic has to be something he truly isn't. Fit. And that's why he should be MVP. Alright, that's it for today's show. Join me next week as I reveal the 4 remaining members of the Super League, which will be 4 senior citizens over the age of 80 who meet every Tuesday for soup at Birkin's Diner.